Very good day to you, friends. Today we are going to talk about the life of Daniel. Now, Daniel was a celebrated Jewish scholar and master interpreter of dreams who was exiled to Babylon after the destruction of the Holy Temple in Jerusalem. And his three friends also were wise men serving the king, which were Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Daniel was from the royal family and he was captured by Nebuchadnezzar to serve him in his court. Nebuchadnezzar besieges Jerusalem and carries off some of the treasures from the temple of God to Babylon. Daniel is known for his wisdom and intelligence. All these captives who were taken to Babylon had to go through a 3-year course in Babylonian language and literature. But Daniel and his friends were 10 times wiser than all the experienced magicians, enchanters in the kingdom, and Daniel is referred to as having the wisdom like that of gods. He could interpret bizarre dreams and weird dreams which the kings had, which no one could imagine. Troubling dreams of King Nebuchadnezzar and his son Belshazzar were interpreted by Daniel as per the Old Testament in the Bible. Daniel was a righteous and faithful man, and he followed all the laws given by Moses to follow the commandments of God. Daniel and his friends, they chose not to defile themselves with the king's food when it comes to Babylon, as according to Torah, the food that are rendered ceremonially unclean should not be eaten as per the law of God. Now, Ezekiel refers to Daniel, Noah, and Job as extremely righteous men. And Daniel, we see that the whole Bible, he was a spotless person. Abraham, we know, that had his flaws where he took Hagar as his wife. Moses struck the rock and he was banned from entering the promised land of Canaan, land flowing with milk and honey. David committed adultery and murder. Noah got drunk and naked. Job repented for speaking against God. However, there was no fault that was found in Daniel. Now, Daniel was made the chief overseer of all the magicians which followed our other gods. When Nebuchadnezzar had a dream, he did not tell the dream to anyone, and the magician's response was that no one can reveal it except the gods, and they do not live among humans. Yet Daniel interpreted, and they told that a spirit of the holy God lives with him. Even though own temple of God was destroyed by Babylonians in Jerusalem, but our body is a temple of the living God. So same way Daniel had the spirit of God in him. Now he was made officer by Nebuchadnezzar, Belshazzar, Darius, and Cyrus the Persian as well in their kingdom. Also in the book of Daniel, he introduces the angels Gabriel and Michael, angels of God, which were important in Old and New Testament. Now Gabriel announces the birth of Jesus Christ to Mary, and Michael is referred as a warrior angel who combats the opposing forces fighting Satan. Now we see as we go ahead the story where in the chapter of Daniel, King Nebuchadnezzar makes an image of gold which is 90 feet high and 9 feet wide. And he asks everyone to fall down and worship the image. And whoever does not fall down and worship will immediately be thrown into a blazing furnace. Now there were some astrologers who came forward and denounced the Jewish young men that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego neither serve your God's king nor worship your gold image. And furious with rage, the king calls them. They were brought before the king and asked to fall down and worship the image. But they replied that we do not need to defend ourselves in this matter. If we are thrown into the blazing furnace, the God we serve is able to save us from it, and he will rescue us from your hand. Even if he does not, we will not serve other gods. This was the decision by the men of God, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that even if we fall into the blazing furnace, God will save us. Or even if he does not save us, we will still not follow any other gods. And king was furious with that and ordered the furnace to be heated 7 times hotter than usual. Some of the strongest soldiers tied these men up and threw them into the blazing furnace. And these soldiers who took them were hit by the fire, and men fell into the furnace, and kings and these 3 men were thrown into the blazing fire. And the king saw that there was a 4th man walking around in the fire. And the king saw that they were unbound, unharmed. And 4th looked like the Son of God. King calls them, and when they came, king saw that the fire did not do any harm to these young men, nor their hair or robes were scorched. There was no smell of fire on them. They defied the king's command. They were willing to give up their lives than serve and worship other gods. So how blessed life was there. God saved their lives from the fire. So this is how each one of us need to